So I feel like there's a question I want to answer for myself. It has to do with my schedule and what I'm trying to accomplish, and the challenge that I find in wanting more for myself, and wanting to be in ambition. That's how I heard it described, as wanting to achieve and trying to develop in myself this deep desire, this irrevocable, irrefutable desire to become and to demand more of myself and to achieve more than I have. And I know that the reason I want to do that is because I want to become more than I am. And I know that developing those desires and having those goals that are out there in front that I'm really pushing for, and having a sense of this is something that I just have to do, it's going to change me as I move in that direction, as I do things that I wouldn't otherwise be doing. And so I really want to live in that place and feel that, and I know what it feels like to have that energy and to have that flow in my life. But the challenge that I find in doing that is that I get really caught up in it, and I forget that there are other people in my life who don't live that way. That's my family. And I disconnect from them at some level that's really important to them when I'm living in that achieve mode, when I'm in that vibe, and when I'm really pushing for that. And it's perplexing, and it's discouraging, and it's to not be able to meet what I feel is that challenge. And sometimes I feel like it's a matter of just doing better with my transitions between when I'm on my own time and when I'm on what I call shared time, or not my own time, and that is when I'm at home. So let me give you an example. I woke up at 4 o'clock today. This is my routine. Alarm goes off at 4 o'clock. I get in a shower. I take a cold shower, and that does something to your physiology, to my physiology, and to my mentality, and to my emotional state. When I can get going that early, and when I feel myself moving in the direction of my goals, and I'm doing this because I've got to find a way to put in the extra time. And so I start out with that intensity all the intensity that I can find, and from there I'm on the road at about 4:30 and get to work at 5 o'clock, maybe a little sooner, and I spend some time in a mental mode, getting myself ready for the day, and then I dedicate time to writing. I'm writing a book right now, so I dedicate about an hour to writing, and so between having that morning time to review my goals, and to just have some reflection and review, and riffing time, mental riffing time, and then writing, it's about 8 o'clock, 7:30, or even 7, and I start on my work day. My typical 9 to 5 work day runs from about anywhere between 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. is when I start, and then I end somewhere between 3 and 4 p.m. So somewhere in there I take my lunch, 30-minute lunch, and I add another 15 minutes onto it, and I go down and I hit the gym as hard as I can, a gym in the basement of the building where I work. And so I spend 45 minutes in the gym as hard as I can, and I push myself as hard as I can. And, going down there, I guess I feel like I'm going to have a good workout, or I know that my sequences of workouts have been what I want them to be when there are two factors or two feelings that I have. The first one is I feel absolutely driven and pulled, and this undeniable must to go to the gym, and I've just got to be down there, because if I don't, I know what happens. I know how it feels to be off that track for months and for years, and I need to be down there. I need to be working hard, because it changes me, and it does wonders for anxiety, and it settles me, and it sets me, and it fills me with certainty, and I need that. I have to have that. I can't go without that. It's like eating, it's like sleeping, and so I do that every day. And that's one thing that one of the features that tells me that my workouts are where I want them to be. The second one is that when I'm heading down to the gym, or as my mind goes there and I start getting ready, and I walk out to my truck and get my workout equipment, and I'm headed over to the other building, is I have a fear. I have a fear of my workout, and mostly, above all, I have a fear of the running I'm going to do. I've never been a strong runner, and so I push myself to run, and my goal is to run harder than I'm able to run every day. And I set the treadmill at highest incline possible and the fastest speed possible, and I time myself, and I push myself to run 3 sprints, 4 sprints, 5 sprints. Sometimes all I get are 1 or 2 sprints, depending on what my body is able to do that day. On a real bad day, I just get 1 sprint. But typically I get 3 sprints in, and I'm thinking to myself, this sounds kind of pathetic, you're only hitting 3 sprints, but 3 sprints as hard as I can at the top of my workout. No matter what, no matter how sore I am from the day before, no matter what. This is the afternoon, and I try to get into the gym late morning. A lot of times I don't get into the afternoon. So I'm just explaining why the sprint's so hard mentally. But the point is, or my goal is to like I said, to run harder than I'm able to, and so the sprints end when I just can't anymore. And so I'm trying for 24 seconds or 22 seconds flat out sprint, highest incline on the treadmill, highest speed as possible as it'll go, and I just time it, and I run flat out as hard as I can. And the first sprint I get it, second sprint I can feel my muscles just depleted at the very end of the sprint. And third sprint, I'm just like almost falling off the treadmill, and so then I just finish the sprint if I can, or I don't, and then I write down how many seconds I missed. I was 3 seconds short, or 6 seconds short, or half a second short. And then I look back on the week before, and I try to either decrease the wait time between the sprints, I'm down to about 45 seconds in between sprints, but But that's my goal. Is one of my goals is to run hard every single day, except for a leg day. 1 day a week, when I do legs, I don't run. But the other 4 or 5 days a week, if I'm working out on Saturday, if it's a really good week, it's to kill myself with sprints. And so when I'm walking down to the gym and I feel a physical fear of what I'm going to go through on the sprints. And so there's my workout, and finish the day. What I was doing is I was coming home at 3, and I would just sit in my truck in the neighborhood and sit in my truck, and I would spend another hour riding, and then I would about 4:30 is when I'd be getting into the house. And so I'm on this intense schedule all day long where I've been pushing myself, and I walk into the house and everyone else is just chilled and they're just hanging. And a lot of times there's, someone, they need help making dinner, and they need help with chilling and hanging. And that's really hard to go from my intense, I'm pushing myself beyond what I feel like I can do because I want to achieve, and then I walk into the house and it's a different world. And so I haven't figured it out yet, but my commitment to myself and my desire is to be present and to be there and to be a dad and to be a husband and to be kind and to be gentle and to be understanding and to not be impatient and to not have it be about me and trying to control, but to be there for them and to love them. And I've only got another 1.5 years with my son, and the little one's 8, and I want to soak up every single minute, and it's a different vibe, it's a different flow, and I haven't figured out how to embrace it. I haven't figured out how to live with the balance when I want both of them so much and they seem to be in opposition. But I'm working at it, and I'm learning, and I'm growing, and I'm just sitting here with this question on how do I balance the two. And it's a really abrupt cutoff when I walk in that door, and I feel like the rest of the day I've spent until 10:30, 11 p.m. I'm there for them, and sometimes I want to share with them what I'm doing in a way that they feel and they pick up on that unquenchable desire that I stoke and that I ride. But that doesn't work to force that on them, and I haven't figured out how to invite them into that. I'm just there for them, and it's, if I reflect on that, it's because I want to be for them, and it's extremely fulfilling. And so here I am, and that's my question. If I were to ask anyone else, how do you strike that balance, or do you even try to strike that balance? So where are you at, and what are your musts in your life, and do you have musts in different areas that seem incompatible or just starkly different, and how do you deal with it?